The world of undercover police work.
Undercover police.
I mean, you see it on TV, right?
Yeah.
You see all those undercover cops
Yeah.
living double lives,
Right.
but how do they actually choose who gets to do that?
It's fascinating, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's exactly what we're going to look at in this deep dive.
Okay.
We found this study
Uh-huh.
that looks into how undercover officers feel about the selection process they went through.
So not how they catch criminals,
Right.
but how they choose who gets to do it.
Yeah, it's all about the psychology of the officers themselves.
Cool.
And this study focuses on a specific police agency.
Okay.
A big one, a well-respected one in the Midwest.
Right. Okay.
Where being undercover
I bet.
is a really big deal.
Yeah, it's like...
It's prestigious.
Yeah.
It's a fast track to get promoted.
I bet it's not just anyone who can just sign up, though, right?
Oh, no.
Like, I want to be undercover.
No. It's a very rigorous selection process.
Like what?
Well, you need recommendations from your superiors.
Okay.
Performance reviews.
Right.
A formal application, a structured interview.
Wow.
And even then, they have to go through these interactive video simulations.
Oh, wow.
They're designed to put officers in realistic undercover scenarios.
Okay.
So the assessors can watch how they handle the pressure and make decisions in the moment.
It's like a real-life undercover training ground.
Exactly.
So cool.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious, though.
Yeah.
If it's so competitive,
Right.
I bet a lot of qualified officers
Oh, yeah.
don't make the cut.
Absolutely.
How do they feel about that?
And that's a great question because that gets to the heart of this study.
Okay.
The researchers found something really surprising. The officers who got the undercover assignments, the ones who got in, they felt that the system was more fair.
What? Really?
Yeah.
So just because...
Than those who passed all the tests.
Wait.
Yeah.
So just because they got what they wanted,
they
thought the whole system was fair.
Well,
even if everyone went through the same process.
That's what the study suggests.
Really?
It's really interesting how our own personal outcomes can affect how we see fairness.
It's like when your favorite sports team gets bad call from the ref. Suddenly, the whole system seems rigged.
Right.
Even if the ref is usually fair.
Exactly. It highlights how our views on fairness are subjective.
They're subjective,
Yeah.
Okay, so what about the officers who went through the same process but didn't get the undercover role?
Well, they tended to view the selection process as less fair.
So even though they were still considered qualified, they just they weren't as happy with the outcome.
Exactly. So, it seems like getting what they wanted really affected how fair they thought the process was.
Makes me think about all kinds of competitive situations, right? Applying for jobs, trying to get into a popular restaurant.
Yeah.
Do you think this same thing happens there?
Oh, I think so.
Yeah.
Anytime you have a limited number of spots and a lot of people who want them, this idea of fairness, or at least the perception of it, becomes crucial.
So what does this tell us about people when they don't get what they want?
That's where we start getting into the details of this research. And I think it has some fascinating implications for how we design and manage these kinds of competitive systems.
All right.
Yeah. But this study, it didn't just measure how fair the officers thought the selection was.
Oh, there's more.
Yeah, there's more.
I'm hooked. Tell me.
The researchers wanted to see if there was any connection between those feelings of fairness or the lack of it and how well the officers did their jobs, how satisfied they were, and even how committed they were to the agency.
So, like, if feeling good about the selection
meant
you actually did a better job.
Yeah, and what they found is really interesting.
Okay, lay it on me.
The officers who got those undercover assignments, the ones who felt the selection was fair, they also scored higher in all three areas.
No kidding.
Job performance, job satisfaction, and commitment.
So feeling good about the process.
Yeah, it seems like it.
Actually made them better at their jobs.
Yeah.
And, like, happier, too.
More motivated.
That's wild.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
It suggests that fairness can really boost morale and lead to better outcomes overall.
This isn't just about some abstract idea of fairness, Dan. This is like...
It has practical implications.
Right. This is about, like, a better workforce.
If organizations can create a selection system that people feel is fair, It could lead to a more productive and engaged workforce.
It all comes down to, then,
it does.
those two things you mentioned before, right?
It does. It comes down to distributive justice and procedural justice.
Okay, break those down for me one more time.
Okay, so distributive justice is about the fairness of the outcome.
Right.
Did everyone get what they deserved?
Okay.
Based on their skills and their efforts?
Gotcha.
Procedural justice is about the fairness of the process itself.
Okay.
Were the rules clear and transparent, and were they applied the same way to everyone?
So even if you don't get what you want,
exactly.
if you think the process was fair, you're more likely to accept it.
Exactly. And that's where transparency and communication are really important.
Yeah.
If organizations are clear about how they're making decisions and they communicate that openly and they make sure the process is consistent, then even the people who don't get selected might still feel like they were treated fairly.
It's like everyone's playing on a level playing field.
Exactly.
Even if there can only be one winner.
Right. It's about fostering trust and respect throughout the whole process.
So we've been talking about this undercover police study, but this is happening everywhere, right?
Absolutely.
College applications, promotions, sports teams.
All sorts of places.
You think it's the same everywhere?
Anytime you have a limited number of spots and lots of qualified candidates, these perceptions of fairness, they're going to be front and center.
So the question is, how do you make sure these selection processes are actually fair?
Right.
And also seem fair to everyone?
That's the challenge.
That's a tough one.
It is a challenge. But I don't think it's impossible.
Okay.
And this research gives us some clues about how to do it.
Okay, so we've been looking at this undercover police selection.
Yeah.
All these tests and simulations, this whole psychology of fairness.
Right.
But what does it all mean for...
That's the big question.
Yeah, for the average person.
Yeah, how can we take these ideas from the undercover world and use them in our own lives?
Because we've all been there.
Oh, yeah.
Where we felt like something was unfair.
Absolutely.
Like not getting a promotion. Or even just a bad call from a ref.
A bad call,
during a game.
And this research shows us that how we see fairness isn't always objective.
Right.
It's affected by our own experiences. Our expectations, and even our desires.
It's like we're all wearing these like fairness-tinted glasses.
Back then.
And the tint changes. Depending on whether we won or lost.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
It shows how subjective our views can be.
Yeah. So how do we make sure we're seeing things clearly?
Well, I think the first step is to be aware of this bias.
Right.
To realize that just because you didn't get what you wanted doesn't mean the system was rigged.
Okay, so take a step back.
Yeah, take a step back.
Breathe.
Well, breathe.
Try to see it from different angles.
Yeah, see all sides.
It makes me wonder, too.
Yeah.
Have there been times when we benefited from a decision?
Right.
But maybe the process wasn't totally fair.
Oh, yeah.
But we were just happy with the outcome.
We didn't even think about it.
Yeah.
We were happy to win.
Exactly.
But fairness means holding ourselves to the same standard, whether we win or lose.
So how do we...
It's tough.
Yeah, how do we get that...
How do we get that balanced view?
More objective view of fairness?
I think it starts by asking ourselves some hard questions.
Like what?
Were the rules clear?
Okay.
Was the process transparent? Was everyone treated with respect, no matter the outcome?
And if the answer to any of those is no...
then maybe it's time to speak up.
To say something.
Yeah, to advocate for a better system.
Because fairness doesn't just happen.
It doesn't.
We have to make it happen.
We have to work for it.
This has been really interesting.
It has.
We went from undercover police to this whole deep dive on fairness.
We did.
And how it affects us all.
Yeah. And hopefully it's given you some things to think about.
Absolutely.
Because whether it's a job, a promotion, or just life in general, understanding fairness can help you make better choices and make the world a little bit more just...
That's a great point.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
On this deep dive.
It's been a pleasure.
Until next time.
Yeah.
Stay curious.
Yeah.
Stay engaged.
Stay fair.
And keep those fairness-tinted glasses in check.
Absolutely.